Hi, my name's Jane. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I wanted to show you around the journal entry import tool, how it works, how easy it is to import a journal entry into Aplos, and then maybe some errors that you could run into just to kind of give more information about that so then that you won't run into those errors. You'll know how to format everything perfectly so that you won't receive those in the future. So first, to get to the journal entry import page, you're going to click Accounting, Transactions, Journal Entry, and then there's an Import Journal Entry option here. So you'll go to this page, maybe a little bit about what you can import from. You can really import from anything that provides an export for you. So if you're using a software like bill.com or maybe a payroll provider that we don't have available, you can use the journal entry import tool to bring in a journal entry for your payroll. It's really super easy. So the biggest thing would just be formatting your import template, which I'll go over, and then you just bring it in and import it and then save the journal entry. So it's as easy as that. First thing, you will download this template, which is going to, I already have it downloaded, so it's going to give you sample journal entries and then also all of your accounts, all of your funds, and then any tags that you have in the software. So these tags for fundraisers, locations, and departments, these are advanced tags. So if you're on the advanced or total subscription, you'll have these tag options. You might also have 990 tag options for that Form 990. So you'll see those, and then just clicking into one of the examples. In my fundraiser type tag, I have these two tags, Christmas fundraiser and youth fundraiser. Custom tags are available to all customers, whether on a starter, standard, or advanced package. So you can create tags, custom tags. Any customer can create custom tags, and you'll see any of the custom tags that you've created will be in a list here. So these tabs here are just for your reference. It's just for quick reference so that you know what tag options you have, what fund options you have, what account options you have. So it's just information for you. The import tab, though, is where you're going to want to format your import file. So row 2 and row 4 will be journal entries that are being imported. The unique identifier to start a new journal entry is a date. So every new journal entry will need a date. A memo is required as well, so a date and a memo for each new journal entry. So if I were to start a third journal entry or need to import a third journal entry, I just do the date, import journal entry number 3, and then I do my accounts, my funds, my debits, my credits, and tags if I have them. So the date, again, is the biggest unique identifier. You'll also need a memo as well. So you'll see here I have different columns. These tag options will automatically populate depending on what tags you have available. You might not need to use them. This is just an example. So these fields can be blank. You can delete anything in that field. You don't have to use that field, only if you want to import tags. So as an example on this row, my entry on my journal entry, account 2000 for my credit card, is going to have the location tag for East Campus. Similarly, this checking line for my entry is going to have my administrative tag for my department. So that will just import automatically if you have any of these filled. So what you'll do is whatever software you're exporting from, So if it's bill.com, if it's your payroll, if it's Expensify, you'll just need to format things. So just be sure that you don't have a date on each row, or else you're going to have an out of balance journal entry. So if I did the same date here and the same memo, this is going to be one entry that's imported, and this will be a second, which is incorrect. You're going to have an out of balance journal entry. You're going to have to go back to your template, reformat it so that you delete this information. So just be sure the first line of your journal entry has a date and a memo, and then any lines under it. You'll notice these two lines do not have a date or a memo because they're all included in this single journal entry. So you'll also want to be sure that you're in balance by debit and credit. So the credit side is 5,000. A trick on Excel, if you don't already know, if you highlight two figures and choose down here the sum option, it's going to total those for you. So that's 5,000, so that's in balance. Obviously 100 and 100, that's in balance as well. So you're good to go. For the account field, you need to follow the account number space dash account name. I'm sorry, space dash space account name. So this is 1000 space dash space checking, which matches my account name. So really you can take any of these accounts and just copy it and paste it over to your import template if you want to do that. It might make things a little bit easier. So that is the formatting required for the account. The fund can be the fund number, it could be the fund name, or it could be the fund number space dash space name. So this is a little bit more flexible than the account field is. So then your tags. You'll have your tag type. So in advanced and total subscriptions, you have different types of tags that you can have. So I have fundraiser tags, location tags, department tags, and custom tags. So you'll just look at your fundraiser tag. These are your 2 fundraiser tag options, your 4 location tag options, and your 2 department tag options. And then I have 2 custom tag options as well. So you will paste the name of the tag or enter the name of the tag here under the correct type of tag that you have, whether location, department, fundraiser, or however you've named those in your software. You'll just have that header there available to you. So I'm going to take this file and I'm going to import it into Aplos. So to do that, I'm just going to click Choose File, choose my file, then click Import and Review. So you'll see here I have 2 journal entries. We saw that in the file, and each has the appropriate information that was on that import file. So I have my account, my fund, account and fund here. I've got the tags listed here, debit and credit. You'll see here it's an in-balance journal entry. We knew it would be. The date and the memo. Perfect. No errors. We'll show errors in a minute and you'll know that you have errors because it's red bolded font everywhere. Second entry, I've got my tags, date, memo, accounts, everything's in balance. This is perfect. So once everything's good to go, post 2 journal entries and here they are. You can click into them, make changes if you need to, all of that. So that was a successful import. Let's go over one that's going to throw some errors. So let me pull up this file. I have created a template that's going to throw errors, and let me show you what those are. The first is the incorrect formatting in an account. Again, we talked about this. We just need to make sure that it's the account number and name. Here I just have the account name, so that's going to give me an error. Here, this equity account number doesn't exist in my chart of accounts. So if we look at my account list, I have 2 funds, 3,000 and 3,100. but not one that's 3001. So let me get back to that file. So this is going to throw an error for me too, because this fund does not exist in my account. Here, this is going to throw an error because I don't have a memo. So it's going to show that I don't have a memo and then prompt me to enter one. I'm going to have an error here because these two amounts don't equal 5,000. They equal 5,001 cent. So that's going to throw an error when I import. This is just showing the different options for a correct entry for your fund. So again, it can be equity number and fund name, just fund name, or just the number. So these will all import perfectly to my building fund. I just wanted to give a little bit more of an example there. So no error on that. But I will get an error here because I'm going to, well, technically it won't be an error, but I'll show you how it's going to not notice that this is a separate journal entry because it's missing a date. What it's going to do is it's going to combine everything here and make it one entry. So I'll have to, I'll show you what that looks like in after we import. So I'm going to delete this because that will make things look a little funky on import. Perfect. Save my file. Now I'm going to import it and show you what that looks like. So again, accounting, transactions, journal entry, import journal entry, choose file. Here's my file, import and review. So first off, it's going to say, there were errors in your import. Please review each transaction. So here's my two different journal entries, and it's showing that there are errors in both. If there was one that's fine, it's just going to show up regular text, not red. So, but instead I have errors in both. So remember, I just put checking on that template, and so it's not recognized. So what I need to do is select the account from my list. So now that's fine. This, remember, I just entered 3001, which is not a recognized fund. So I need to choose the correct fund. I need to use journal entry so that it stays in balance. So that's going to be good. If I look at journal entry number 2, then I need to enter a memo because it's missing. Then, if you remember, these two lines were supposed to be a separate journal entry, but because I didn't have a date, it's rolling it up into the journal entry above. So I would have to go back to my template, add in the date, and re-import. Also, if you remember, I had these two amounts that equaled 5,001. So it's not a balanced entry, and you'll notice down here it's telling me that things are out of balance by 1 cent. So what I'm going to do is change that to 4, and now I'm in balance by debit and credit, but my fund balances are off. So see, I have general fund here for my 5,000 credit, but here I need to use the same fund to keep things in balance, or add an offsetting account to bring things in balance. So what I'm going to do is just change it to general fund. That brings everything in balance, and we should be good to go. So now you'll see that the post button's active. Before it was light green, which it was disabled because there were errors. So now I can enter these. I'm going to rename this a little bit so that we can distinguish between the two. Okay. There we go. All right, so everything's good. My button is active. So this, if I wanted to go change it, I could. Right now I'm just going to delete it so that it doesn't enter it. Oops. Cool, I'm in balance. Everything's great. Click import, and there they are, 3 and 4. So this sorts by date. That's why it's out of order by the journal entry number, but it's in order by date. So everything imported just fine. if I were to go back and make changes, then my journal entry would import. Let's do that. Let's do imported journal entry. Let's do this for 5, 6, 7. So we've cleaned that up. This is checking. We're going to follow the fund example. Let's make this building fund also so that we're not out of balance by fund. Correct our balance entry here. So now this equals 5,000 rather than 5,001. Then this is going to be great because I have my date. So let's see. Import journal entry, choose my file. Doesn't have errors anymore, but I didn't change it. Perfect. Here's 3 journal entries. So I added the date, that makes the 3rd. I've edited the account names, the debits and credits match, the funds match, everything's great. So this is perfect. So is that. And so is this. Even after you import, so these entries are pending. They're not applied to your accounting until you click the post button. So while you're on this page, these don't exist in your accounting yet. They're just kind of in a queue to say you can post them. But until you click this, they don't exist. One thing to keep in mind, if I were to exit this page for any reason, I'm going to lose what I just imported. So go back here, back to my journal entry import page, and nothing's saved. So unless you don't need those journal entries to import and save here, don't leave the page. Or you'll have to re-import. So just a heads up on that. But here are the 4 entries that I imported. Those 3 that I had pending did not come over here because I didn't click import and refresh my page, so they don't exist. But these are all in my software, hitting my accounting, looking good. So that is the journal entry import tool. If you have any questions, our support team is available and happy to help. We can always take a look over a file if it's not importing for whatever reason, so feel free to send that over to us and we can take a look and troubleshoot it with you a bit. But again, this is just a super helpful tool to bring in information for from any software that you use other than Aplos. Thanks for joining me. And again, if you need any help with anything, feel free to reach out to our customer success team. We're here and happy to help.